You've heard it a million times, use strong passwords, make them different for every site. And yeah, that's important. But in 2023, it's not even half the battle. The truth is, even an uncrackable password won't help if you're making other mistakes. Think about it, your password protects your accounts, right? But what if there are ways around that wall, ways you're leaving the door wide open without even realizing it? We're diving deep into the 5 digital habits many of us are guilty of that leave us wide open to attack. These aren't complex technical flaws, these are everyday things, so ingrained in how we use tech that we don't even think twice. But hackers, they count on these habits. So whether you consider yourself tech savvy or not, stick around because this is about understanding the new landscape of digital threats. This is about taking control of your security, going beyond the basics, and making sure that your data, your privacy, your digital life is actually yours. All right, let's talk about passwords. We all know the drill: strong, unique, mix of characters, the whole 9 yards, but there's a catch, and it's a big one. See, most of us, even if we're trying to be careful, end up reusing passwords, maybe not for everything, but definitely for a few different sites or services. It's just easier, right? You remember one good password and you're good to go. Here's the problem. Imagine one of those sites, even a small one, gets hacked. It happens all the time. Now the hackers have your email and that reused password. They're not going to just try it on that one site. They're going to run it through their systems, try it on your email, your social media, even your online banking. Suddenly, that one reused password has created a domino effect, compromising multiple accounts. And the worst part? You might not even know it's happening until it's too late. You see a weird login attempt notification, maybe some spam from your email, but by then the damage is done. This isn't about being lazy, it's about understanding the sheer scale of data breaches happening every day. Think about all the sites you use, all the logins you have. It's overwhelming, right? That's why so many people fall into this trap. But there's a better way, a way to break free from this cycle of reuse and actually take control. No, it's not about remembering a million different passwords. We'll get into that later. The key takeaway here is this: even one reused password is one too many. Let's talk about something that doesn't seem directly related to passwords, but is a major player in the cybersecurity game: software updates. We all get those pop-ups, those little reminders to update our phones, our laptops, our apps. And how many of us just hit remind me later? It's tempting, right? You're in the middle of something, and the last thing you want is your computer restarting for an update. But here's the thing, those updates aren't just about new features or a fresh coat of paint. They often contain crucial security patches, fixes for vulnerabilities that hackers can exploit. Think of it like this: your software, whether it's your operating system or your favorite app, is like a house. Over time, cracks appear, weaknesses that hackers can use to get in. Software updates are like patching those cracks, reinforcing your defenses. When you ignore those updates, you're essentially leaving your front door unlocked, inviting trouble in. And the worst part is, you might not even know it's happening. Hackers can exploit these vulnerabilities silently, stealing your data, installing malware, or even taking control of your device without you ever realizing it. It's not about being paranoid. It's about understanding that in the digital world, staying up to date is crucial for your safety. Those updates might seem annoying, but they're your first line of defense against a constantly evolving landscape of threats. So next time you see that update notification, don't dismiss it. Take a moment, install it, and breathe a little easier knowing that you've just made your digital life a whole lot safer. All right, let's talk about phishing, one of the oldest tricks in the book, but still incredibly effective. Why? Because it doesn't target your password directly, it targets you, the human behind the keyboard. See, phishing is all about deception. It's about creating emails, messages, or websites that look legitimate, that trick you into handing over your credentials willingly. You get an email that looks like it's from your bank asking you to verify your account. You click the link, it takes you to a website that looks exactly like your bank's website, and you enter your username and password without a second thought. Boom, you've just been phished. The thing is, these phishing attempts are getting more sophisticated. Gone are the days of poorly written emails with obvious typos. Hackers are crafting convincing messages using logos, branding, even mimicking the tone and style of legitimate companies. They prey on our trust, our desire to be helpful, our fear of missing out or getting in trouble. And it works. No matter how strong your password is, if you're tricked into giving it away, it's game over. So how do you protect yourself? First, be skeptical. Don't click on links in emails or messages unless you're absolutely sure they're legitimate. Hover over links to see the actual URL and be wary of anything that looks even slightly off. Second, pay attention to details. Look for typos, grammatical errors, or anything that seems out of place. And remember, legitimate companies will never ask for your password over email or message. If something feels fishy, it probably is. Don't be afraid to verify directly with the company using contact information from their official website, not the suspicious email. Staying safe online is as much about awareness as it is about strong passwords. Be vigilant, be skeptical, and don't let yourself become an easy target. All right, let's talk about a security feature that's like having a bodyguard for your digital life two-factor authentication, or 2FA for short. Remember how we talked about passwords being a single point of failure? Well, 2FA is like adding another lock to your door, an extra layer of security that makes it way harder for hackers to get in. Here's how it works. When you enable 2FA, logging into an account requires not just your password, but also a second factor, something you have on you physically. This could be a code from an authentication app on your phone, a text message, or even a biometric scan like your fingerprint. So, even if a hacker gets their hands on your password, they still can't access your account without that second factor. Think of it like this. Your password is the key to your house, but with 2FA enabled, you've also got a security guard standing at the door, checking IDs before letting anyone in. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds like a hassle. And yeah, it does add an extra step to the login process, but trust me, the peace of mind it provides is priceless. We're talking about protecting your emails, your social media, your financial accounts, basically everything important in your digital life. Is an extra 10 seconds really too much to ask for that kind of security? The good news is enabling 2FA is usually pretty straightforward. Most major platforms and services offer it, and it's often as simple as going into your security settings and flipping a switch. So, do yourself a favor, take a few minutes to enable 2FA on all your important accounts. It's one of the most effective things you can do to protect yourself online, and it's a step you won't regret. We've talked about strong passwords, avoiding reuse, and even adding extra layers of security. But what about how you're actually storing those passwords? This is where a lot of people slip up, often without even realizing the risks involved. Let's be real. Remembering dozens of complex passwords is practically impossible. So what do? We write them down, jot them in a notebook, or maybe save them in a document on our computer. Sounds familiar? Here's the problem. Physical notes can be lost, stolen, or even just easily discovered by someone snooping around. And storing passwords in plain text on your computer, that's like leaving the keys to your kingdom unguarded. If your computer gets infected with malware or accessed by someone with bad intentions, all those passwords are ripe for the taking. But I have a strong password on my computer, you might say. Well, as we've already established, passwords alone aren't enough. So, what's the solution? Enter password managers. These tools are designed to securely store all your passwords in an encrypted vault, accessible only with a master password that only you know. Think of it like a digital safe for your most sensitive information. Now, I know some people are hesitant about password managers. What if the password manager itself gets hacked? It's a valid concern, but reputable password managers use robust encryption and security measures to protect your data. Plus, they often come with additional features like password generators, security alerts, and even the ability to sync your passwords across multiple devices. Using a password manager is a game changer when it comes to online security. It takes the burden of remembering complex passwords off your shoulders, while also providing a much more secure way to store them. There are plenty of great options out there, both free and paid. Do your research, choose one that fits your needs, and start taking password security seriously. So, there you have it, 5 habits that hackers love to exploit. The takeaway here is simple. Strong passwords are just the starting line. It's about being mindful of your digital habits, understanding the evolving landscape of threats, and taking proactive steps to protect yourself. Remember, cybersecurity isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. It's about taking control of your digital life and making sure that your data, your privacy, your online presence remains yours. The good news is, making these changes isn't difficult. It just requires a little awareness, a little effort, and a willingness to break those bad habits. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more cybersecurity tips and tricks. And most importantly, share this video with your friends, family, and colleagues. Let's spread awareness and help each other stay safe in this increasingly digital world.